What is up, guys? Pie Muffin here, and we are back with some more Trails into Reverie. Last time we did, we started on our next set of Daydreams, which had us doing Orbital Gear 4 Part 2, which is actually our longest Daydream to date. Not counting 1 and 2 together, but 2 by itself, since it was not only a long story, but also had a decent fighting dungeon sequence, had us going through the keep again. It was almost like an hour-long session, which is pretty crazy. So that definitely took a lot longer than I was expecting. But now we're going to be continuing on to Wishes of a Witch. So we're going to see what Roselia, Emma, Celine, and Vita's story is going to be about. A lot of these stories are meant to kind of be like, okay, what are these characters going to be doing moving forward? Since Trails into Reverie is like the conclusion of the Crossbell and Erebonia arcs, it's going to be a very long time before we have this many of these characters in the same game again. You know, the Liberal, Crossbell, and Erebonia casts, like, it may not even be until the end of the series, you know, however far away that is, until we see all these characters come together again. So it's nice to see a lot of characters, you know, stories kind of like wrap up. So I'm assuming this Wishes of a Witch one is going to be about what Emma and the others, or the Hexen clan in general, is going to be doing moving forward now that they're essentially relieved of their duties. Like, their whole duty was, you know, everything relating to the rivalries and the curse and all of that. So what is in the future for the witches? Let's find out. Oh, he. Wait for me, Wah. Oh dear, this is why I told you not to run. Master, come quick. Who is it? Oh, is that gonna be Emma's mother? It hurts, Mommy. Make it go away with your magic. So, it's gotta be Emma's mother. We never really got a glimpse of what she looked like, but I guess this is as close as we're gonna get. Huh? That's not magic, Master. Interesting they gave her a voice just for this. Ha ha ha, you're silly, Mommy. I spent my early years in an ordinary town. My mother was from a remote region, but moved there after marrying my father. And although he died not long after I was born, my mother chose to remain there, and we lived as a happy family of 2. Of course, given my tender age, I understood little of the situation. I had no way of knowing where my mother was born either. All I ever concerned myself with was the 2 of us, and the elder cousin who came to play every so often. They were my world. Yet, with all halcyon days, they were not destined to last. What did you just say? I said Isola won't be coming back again. She's gone somewhere far, far away, too far for any of us to go pick her up. That can't be true. Then this is obviously Roselia, right? I would assume. Mommy would never just leave me. She wouldn't. Wah. I won't tell you not to cry, but considering her blood flows within you, you have a right to choose the life you want to lead. Come with me to your mother's home, the village of Erin. It's crazy how it took 5 games for us to get the full story of how Emma got to be with the Hexen clan. None of the other 4 Cold Steel games actually explained any of this. Which is also another perk of having this final kind of like Crossbell Erebonia game, is that anything, and it's what happened with Sky the Third as well. The game is essentially, obviously it has its own story, but it's mainly used to wrap up any, I guess, plot holes that they didn't get to take care of in the previous games. Meet your familiar. She's gonna be your family from now on. Give her a name, Emma. Ooh, what a pretty black kitty. A name, what about Celine? Suits me well enough. Nice to meet you, Emma. You're going to become a first-rate witch with me at your side. I won't accept anything less. Yay, nice to meet you too, Celine. I'm gonna be just like Mommy one day, you'll see. Even Griano seems to be celebrating. It's been a long time since I last saw Emma this happy. Now we can breathe easier, if only a little. And maybe it'll actually line up with why Vita decided to leave Aaron in the first place. Like, obviously we know the Grandmaster reached out, but why? And what was it that the Grandmaster said that caused Vita to leave? Agreed, it's up to us to watch over her now. I've got Vita, my grandmother, and even Celine at my side now. So it wouldn't be fair for me to complain about being lonely. Vita's gone. Griano's too, and he didn't even try to stop her. That foolish girl, what was she thinking, throwing her lot in with the society of all things? I should have seen the signs earlier. How could I have been so blind? I'm always like this, always failing to notice when what matters until it's too late. Just forget about her, Emma. She has nothing to do with us anymore. You need to think about... Emma, damn it, Rose, you idiot. Why did everyone leave me all alone? Why? First Mom, then Vita. I wish I was stronger. I wish I was strong enough to fight the urge to cry. You're not alone, Emma. You're now ready to handle the truth, so awaken, my darling daughter. Oh, she was having a dream about the past. Oh, a dream. I remember now. I was cleaning Grandmother's room and then... I haven't had that dream in quite a while. The one where I have to relive Vita and my mother leaving me all over again. But I don't remember the dream ever ending that way before. Is this what I think it is? Oh no, I couldn't read the text from here. Daydream, wishes of a witch. After the war ended, I traveled across the land with Celine as a wandering witch. We spent several months ensuring that all the spirit veins had returned to normal in the wake of the Great Twilight. And partway through our mission, we returned to Aaron to report on our progress. But little did we expect what we'd find there. What, Vita being there? I hope you have a very good explanation for this. You never told me that my mother had another diary. Don't expect me to back you up here, Rose. Emma's got every right to be annoyed. Let's not get ahead of ourselves now. You haven't been in Aaron for quite some time, and you must be tired. Grandmother. I wasn't trying to hide it from you as such. It's no ordinary diary, so I put it out of the way where you wouldn't find... In other words, you hid it from me. Eep, I'm sorry, I'm so sorry. I'd swear you were a paleontologist with all the skeletons in your closet, woman. I couldn't agree more. Hi. Vita Clotilde, the Azure Abyss. So I assume now that all the Twilight stuff is over and done with, she's back at being with Ouroboros, like, normally. Vita. Hello, you two. What are you doing here? You've been missing since the war ended. Exactly, then you just pop up like it's the most natural thing in the world. Well, I wasn't expecting fate to draw me here either. Care to explain how a diary my master wrote during her travels ended up here? We were told that her death was an accident in an unknown location. What are you keeping from us? Very well, I can see there's no getting out of this. This all began 2.5 years ago. Emma, you can, like, sit down now. She's talking. Not long after you left the village for the academy, Emma. One day, an owl appeared, parcel in tow. Was this Harry Potter? Opening it, I found a diary and a brief message saying to give it to you when the time is right. Wait. Witches in the Middle Ages used to communicate using owls. And Isola is familiar with a white owl to boot. Indeed, though hers was not the owl that gave the case to me, I can only assume she gave those items to it just before her passing. Evidently, there was more to her final journey than she told any of us. Because it seems that the pages of that diary will only come to bear the truth when you take it to a specific location. Interesting. That explains why most of the pages are blank. You couldn't be a bit more precise? A specific place doesn't help us much. I would if I could. I know little more than all this than you do. Still, now I've told you this much. Can you honestly say you wouldn't have become preoccupied with this if you had found out just before banishing the Twilight? Well... Alright, I'll spare you my wrath this time. Just this time. Still, I can't believe we happened upon this the moment the Twilight ended. Oh, I'm sure that was no coincidence. I imagine she influenced the laws of casuality with her magic so that you would find it when you were ready. She really did go to a lot of work here, but I expect no less from the witch I respect above all others. Hey, I'm right here, you know. So if I can read this, I can finally find out more about my mother. If we can find where we're supposed to take it, at least. This is gonna be like looking for a needle in a haystack. Allow me to save you the trouble. Oh, hi, Zeit. So Zeit can just pop in here as well? A wolf? Zeit, long time no see, my comrade. Several hundred years, I believe. I was not aware you'd regress so much physically. Did you have to bring that up? I love how Celine was just, like, terrified because he's essentially a dog and she's a cat. Wait, if you've known our grandmother for that long, then you must be the divine wolf who once watched over the Septarian of Crossbell. What? They seem to have been unsettled in Crossbell ever since the war ended. Does that relate to why you were outside of it all? Indeed, that is one reason I have been traveling around the continent. While on my journey, I happened to find something strange, something I thought you ought to be informed about. Such as? It so happens that a white ruin of some sort appeared in Osgiliath Basin not long ago. Okay, back there, okay. Right above Ulster. One that appears to be of gnomish origin. What? Could that be what we're looking for? Perhaps the diary is responsible. Sounds like it's worth looking into either way. It does, although as much as I'm itching to go straight away, we don't know what might be waiting for us there. We should prepare ourselves before we set off. I shall accompany you after letting the villagers know that I'm leaving. You haven't been here in some time, Vita. You should at least say hello to everyone. I suppose that wouldn't hurt. Once we made the rounds, we should head for the teleportation circle at the village center. Are we actually walking? Oh, okay, we are.
魔女の里か。思えば訪れるのも久方ぶりになるな。
まあ、せっかくの機会じゃ。案内するからいろいろ見ていくがよかろう。
姉さんもよ。気にかけてくれてる人がたくさんいるんだから。
はいはい、わかりました。たぎるの。でもちょっと楽しみね。いいわ。
Well, may as well say hi. Obviously, none of this is required because it's just a story, but I mean, it's worth doing. Is that who I think it is, Rose? That's right, he's the one I've spoken of. This is Zeit, an acquaintance from my younger days. I believe it's been a few centuries since last we met. Just as I thought, this is the divine wolf from your tales. My stars, he's even more splendid in person. I'll have to take note of everything that happens today in the village records. Please, I hardly think his appearance is worth that much fuss. I'm quite splendid myself when I take on my original form, I'll have you know. Yeah, you never let us hear the end of it. You don't have to go and throw a tantrum, you know. I love it. The guy doesn't even bat an eye that Vita's here. Wonder if there's like a little scene of them if you use the hot springs. Oh, you headed to the hot springs? Before you go, would you like to see the new talent Loki's been practicing? Come on, show them the Granny Rose impression we were just practicing. And how is that thing supposed to do an impression of me exactly? The curiosity is killing me, but I'm a little scared at the same time.
妖精の湯。クロスベルではなかなか温泉はお目にかかれなくてな。
新街区にはスパはあるそうだけど、せっかくだしみんなで使っていく？いいの。姉妹でどれだけ育ったか、わらわが確かめてやろうぞ。
おばあちゃん？まったく。
Well, I guess we know now the old downtown district in Crossbell has hot springs, apparently. Is there actual dialogue here, or... Nope, looks like it's just simple hot spring time. So I assume you get the towels for everybody, right? Nope. Okay, apparently not. I mean, obviously... We already have Vita and Rose unlocked in the Reverie corridor. So, we already know that they're playable. Okay. Is Beryl still hanging out in here? I wonder. Oh no, she's obviously in Crossbell.
久しぶりの里帰りということで昔お世話になった
Oh my god, is she actually recording one?
って何いきなり録音してんのよ。
隠れ里も姉さんにかかれば型なしね。
No signs of monsters in the forest, but I'm sensing something coming from the village. Its mana is almost plenty as roses. Could it be the source is staring me right in the face? My apologies, I didn't mean to startle you. This wolf is none other than an old friend of mine. He won't gobble you up, rest assured. Good to know. I'm sorry I reacted like that. It was very rude of me. It's amazing how you can already sense such a thing with that crystal ball of yours. Looks like your studies are paying off. I sense an incredible witch in the making. Keep up the hard work. I'm rooting for you. Thanks, Emma. I'm gonna keep practicing every day. I sent you and teleported back into the village, but I sure wasn't expecting you to have the gall to show up at my house, Vita. What's that you were messing around with earlier, recording something? Just a little side job I picked up, nothing you need to concern yourself with. It certainly has been a while, Miss Dahlia. We didn't get to talk much last time, but I heard you got yourself a new pupil. I left the village shortly after Isola passed away, but I learned quite a lot in the short time you had me under your wing. I'm looking forward to seeing what that birdling grows into. I suppose I have you to thank for that. This one actually listens to me, unlike you, makes things a lot easier. I heard you went into hiding after a great twilight, but I see you're just fine. I don't know what brings you here, but try to show up every now and then, yeah? Let's see what I can do. What other... I guess we'll, I mean, we may as well just check in everywhere. Welcome to... Oh my. If it isn't Vita, welcome home, dear. Surprise? I thought I'd come by for a bit. I see you brought with you quite the guest. I doubt this is just a friendly visit, though. Are you in the middle of something? Yes, I'm afraid we can't stay here for long. We need to get moving soon. That being said, we're just here for some preparations. Aaron is perfectly safe. Oh? Anyhow, since you were kind enough to pay a visit, I can't have you leaving empty-handed. Take this with you. Thank you. Thank you, Alder. This should come in handy. Think nothing of it, Rose. Taking care of you is all part of my job. Very well then, Emma, Celine, make sure you look after everybody, yes? I'm sure everything will be fine as long as you two are there, but it never hurts to be careful. Leave it to us. Shouldn't the duty of protecting the others befall upon I, the eldest of the party? You should ask yourself that question, Rose. I believe you already know the answer. Love how everyone in the village is at the same consensus, even though she's the village elder. It's like, keep an eye out on her. Welcome to Oh, if it isn't Vita, paying us a little visit. And you brought a mysterious furry friend with you too. Is something the matter? Oh no, we're just here on a little errand. It's nothing you should worry about, Gandalf. Well, I'll have to take your word for it. You're in good company and all. If everything's fine and dandy, I'll leave you to it. Take care, okay? I never thought to look. Can you even, like, change anything on... Oh, you can. For what purpose, though? Oh, yeah, you don't even have access to your normal inventory, but I guess you can still mess around with stuff. I guess if you're playing on a super high difficulty, I guess some of these could be pretty tough. Alright, let's just go say hi to the innkeeper, and then we'll head to the center. I was wondering who was up in the manor, but I hardly expected it to be you, Vita. You always were one for dropping in unannounced. I know you've got your reasons, but I think it'd do you good to visit a bit more often. From what I hear, Emma has scolded you for abandoning the village enough for all of us and then some. And we all know how hard you worked to stop the tragedy of the Twilight from spreading. Emma certainly gave me an earful and a half. I can't possibly imagine when or where that cute child from my memories developed such a nasty temper. You can't, Vita. You have no idea why I developed a temper? Well, anyway, I'm grateful for the welcome. Thank you, Lise. Alright, let's head to the center. See if we can uncover this mystery. Assuming we got everything we need, let's go. Wouldn't only one of them need to cast it? It's not like they're teleport. I'm sure they all just teleport themselves each, and then one of them teleports Sight along as well. We use long-range teleportation magic. Oh, they probably, all three of them boosted the teleport jump. Okay. And this is what we found there. Oh. It is a spirit shrine. Well, this looks like the place. This must be where Isola hid the truth. I certainly can't imagine a new spirit shrine showing up right now to be mere coincidence. Mom's diary, it's reacting to the shrine. Isola must have created it with her magic. So she really did plan for this place to appear as soon as the diary was found. An elaborate undertaking, to say the least. And so very in character for Isola. You have our thanks for telling us about this site. Not at all. It was no imposition. The rest is in your capable hands. I know little about what is happening, but I wish you well, and now I shall take my leave. He can teleport himself. He's changed, that one. I never would have pictured him helping others more than absolutely necessary. For a holy beast, he seems awfully devoted to liberating Crossfell. He and his people have been to Gehenna and back, by all accounts. I'd expect as much after all that. Well, Emma, found your nerve? Of course, we're going inside. I can't pass up an opportunity to finally learn what happened to my mother. No matter how solemn the truth might be. No, honestly. I've never met this Isola person you're all talking about, so I don't have as much stake in this as you do. But I'm your guardian, Emma. We'll see this through to the end together. Thank you, Celine. Naturally, I'll be along for the ride. It was only because of Isola that I first left the village and came to learn about the world. So I want to see this through too. I'll be coming as well, both to watch over the two of you and because I'm Isola's foster mother. Ivory Shrine. I assume it's not gonna be like super long since this is just a daydream. The mana inside seems completely unlike the mana in the shrines that appeared during the wars. Perhaps owing Isola having created with her own mana. The fact that this shrine still stands a decade after her passing is a testament to her greatness. Well, I mean, it wasn't always here. Indeed, she was always more adept at using mana than most. Well, shall we get started? Are you ready, Emma? I am. Let's be off. I'll definitely say I never did this story when I first played through the Japanese version. A feather. A white feather. Steel yourselves, everyone. We're under attack. It would appear there is a trial before us. Ready yourself, Emma. I was born ready. We have no melee fighters in this story. They're all witches. Piece of cake. Ew. More words have appeared. The contents were designed to reveal themselves as we overcome the trials, it seems. So, what's it say? Rose, you're like leaning down. It's a diary entry that's dated 11 years ago. Something stirs. Something dark and unfathomable, omnipresent in Erebonia's long history. At times I can sense in the mana that fills the Empire. None of the stray witches I've consulted can feel it, but I know it can't be my imagination. So for the sake of my grandmother and all the others in the village who saw me off, and so my daughter, my pupil, and I can all keep living happily together, I resolved to look into this matter, first by venturing to the spirit veins across the land. This is from before Mom set off on her final journey. So she discerned the existence of Ishmelga's curse before anyone. That's my pupil for you, and the most capable wandering witch of them all. Whatever the case, it seems like we still have a ways to go till the heart of the shrine. Assuming there's another trial waiting us, there may very well be new information as well. Let's keep at it, shall we? Yes, you're right. Mom. Does feel like the later that you get with the daydreams, the longer they are, which is interesting. But it does seem like the only fights we're gonna have in here are gonna be these trials. We find ourselves in another open locale, so presumably... Indeed, I expect this trial's challenge to eclipse that of the prior. Yeah, one more enemy. We had best not let our guards down.
さあ、気合を入れなさい。我が力に恐れよ、クリムゾンランサー。
I missed one.
暗き刃よ、お願い。
Alright, let's get more of this book. The more time I spent investigating the legends of old, the more confident I became in my theory, which concerned the Great One that came to be from our ancestors' conflict. So I'm assuming whatever took her out... Is there a chance that Osborne, aka Ishmelga, took her out himself? I was convinced that the ominous blight lurking in the Empire was the very Great One. We witches are not involved, which makes the gnomes the most likely culprits. Oh, it may have even been the head of the gnomes, Alberich. I can't even imagine the devastation that would result from a collision between the Hexen clan and the gnomes. I've been hesitant to tell grandmother about all of this as a result. Neither do I want to trouble my daughter or my pupil, and so I shall resolve this matter on my own. Lately, however, I feel like I'm being watched. Perhaps someone has learned of my intentions. I say let them come. I'll gladly be the bait if it leads to information on the gnomes. Oh, that silly girl. If only she had more of a penchant for troubling us. This sheds a whole new light on something she once inquired. She asked one day what I knew about the gnomes. I hadn't the answers to her questions at the time. Looking back, this is what led me to look into the Black Records and the rivalries. The pieces are finally falling into place. She went up against the gnomes alone. Then the real cause of her death was... I fear as much myself, but surely all will be revealed once we fill the last few pages. Then let us press on. It probably was Alberich. This doesn't seem like the end, though. There's still more walking to be done. Another open area, which brings us to our next trial. We must be especially prudent.
どれ、相手をしてやろう。はあ。
暗き刃よ、お願い。
参るぞ。どれ、いただくぞ。ガムリ。癒されるのいいわ。剣、踊りなさい。あら、もう終わりなの
Alright, let's read some more. All information I found on the rivalries and the Gnomes Trail has been erased now. The silver lining, I was able to learn the identity of my pursuer, one Alberich, chief of the gnomes. By the sound of it, he is currently conducting biological research as an executive of some abominable cult. Oh. Wait, so Alberich was working for DG at the time? But I've learned that Alberich's true form is an astral body that lives as a parasite in the gnome's descendants. No matter how many times his body is destroyed, he can revive in the body of one of his relatives. But if I do not defeat him now, this world will be engulfed in war before the seeds of hope can even blossom. I have only one choice. Mom. She must have tried confronting Alberich face to face. I can imagine how that worked out. The Alberich she describes here is likely his previous incarnation. Given this diary's date of 11 years ago, that seems consistent with my own knowledge. Yeah, so it wouldn't have been Alice's father's body, it would have been whoever it was previously. Which is to say the previous Alberich and my mother both fell in battle with one another 11 years ago. They both died, okay. I'm so sorry, Emma. It really stinks to hear the truth, and yet I can't help but feel happy to finally have closure. She realized something was wrong before anyone. She came within a hair of stopping it. Indeed, she was a truly remarkable person, but I'd expect no less from your mother. I concur, and I can't help but feel our encouragement from her discoveries. I underestimated just how deeply indebted to her I was. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Full as the diary may now be, we've still a hitherto unexplored segment of the shrine. And I can sense a great deal of mana further within. Whatever is in there, it doesn't seem like the trials we faced up to this point. We best be careful. Alright, well, at least we know the full story now of what happened to Emma's mother. Thanks, Alberich.
何が待ってても逃げない。全部知って受け止めてみせるわ。
それでこそ私の妹よ。さあ、行くとしましょう。
Probably gonna be a big boss as well. This as far as the shrine goes, this particular area feels a little strange. Something's coming. Hey, it's a white owl. A white owl, could it be? Yes, this is Isola's familiar. I had thought it long gone from this world. It's like a memory brought vividly to the fore. What's happening? I can only assume this is our final trial. Steel yourselves. These denizens of the underworld pose a grave threat. Love it. This can't be the only fight. I knew it. Ariel, Samael, Ramiel, Matriel.
行くわよ。
暗き刃よ、お願い、今です。
食らいなさい。
ごめんなさい。
わらわの番じゃな。どれいただくぞ。ガブリ。癒されるのう。落ち着きます。青き深淵のアリア。人は皆誰もが枷ある咎人。怒り、嘆き、苦しみ、恨み。ご覧なさい。
Goodbye.
深淵はすぐそばに。あら、
やり
わらわも捨てたも。まだまだいけるかしら。
Of course.
強敵ね。気をつけなさい。
9 lives.
はあ。どれいただくぞ。ガムリ。癒されるのう。甘いわ。
行きます。暗き刃、チャンスです。ここよ、セリーヌ。
今回だけよ。やあ。それ。
チャージします。
助かるわ。さあ行きましょう。これはどうかしら。ゾクゾクするでしょ。さあ凍てつきなさいわ。ええ。さあしっかり頑張んなさい。
ありがとうございます。
9 lives.
わらわの番じゃな。どれいただくぞ。ガブリ。癒されるのう。
私の番ですね。そこです。
わらわもまだまだいける。
Alright. More? Yeah, that was close. That's the final trial done and dusted. I'd say we passed with flying colors. It's resonating? So it seems. I sense there's a message for us. Let's hear it then.
お母さん。
エマ、きっとそこにいるんでしょ。ここにたどり着いたということはすっかり立派な魔女になったみたいね。ちょっと意地悪だったかなとも思うけど、ここまでよく頑張ったわね。お母さんも嬉しいわ。
Are we communicating with the past? No, that's not it. It's a projection created by her familiar's lingering thoughts. I'm about to face the chief of the gnomes. I know this battle is destined to end in our mutual demise, but I must see it through. But whose body is that? This I have learned by peering into the future. This very act is taboo. In doing so, I have meddled with the threads of fate. So that's why she didn't try to change things. Yet I feel no regret in learning how my life ends. Because I know this will lead to a better future, not just for my beloved daughter, but for all of the Empire. None of this was any reason to willingly throw your life away. All I wanted was to have you there with me. We could have found a better future together. So why? Why did you have to? I'm sure you're standing there raising your objections, wailing and cursing my choice. I'm so sorry for leaving you on your own, Emma. I won't ask you to forgive me. You have every right to hate me for what I did. But I want you to know the days I spent with you are my greatest treasure. That's why I'll do anything to secure a future where you can live unburdened, happy. I will fall with the chief and alter fate, so that those destined to one day face Ishmelga will have a fighting chance, and that ended up being her and her friends. I'm so sorry for asking so much of you, grandmother. Thank you for raising Emma into such a fine young woman. May you live a long, happy life after your mission is over. Silly fool. I'll live long enough for the both of us, that's a promise. You must be there too, right, Vita? There's a lot that not even I can see about the road you have chosen. But you should know that everyone loves you more than you realize. So rein in those reckless impulses, huh? I'll come back and haunt you if you make Emma cry too much. Always with a sense of humor. She's crying too. Aww. I'll try, Master. I'd be a lousy excuse of a student if I didn't. I'd also like to say something to Emma's new familiar, Celine. Me? You'll have a lot to shoulder with all the troubles the girls will give you. Emma, grandmother, and Vita. Everyone I wanted to be there for, you'll be there in my stead. Celine's expression just dropped. Knowing they have you gives me the strength and clarity I need to walk this solemn road. Thank you so much. You got it. Leave everything to me. Finally, to my dear Emma. I had a good look at what the future has in store for you. You will throw yourself headlong into your studies, then leave the village to carry out your duties as a witch. You'll find fulfillment in... Aww. You'll find fulfillment in friends in the halcyon days of school life, affection overflowing, and despite many a worry along the way, you'll become a fine witch capable of saving the Empire from the Great Twilight. How I wish I could hear stories of your exploits, relishing in the emotion dancing in the light of your eyes. But I am content simply knowing what a wonderful journey lies in wait for you. Oh, Mother. I am certain beyond a doubt you've no shortage of things you hold dear, connections that can weather any storm. Always follow your heart, Emma. The world needs you and your power, but that you already know. I'll be rooting for you, now and forever. As much as I hate to leave you, it seems I'm out of time.
それじゃあね、みんな愛しているわ。
Ouch.
ありがとう、お母さん。私も大好きだよ。
And now it's gone. Oh, the spirit shrine is gone. I almost feel sad to see it disappear. But it successfully served its purpose. This is the best outcome for everyone. I suppose you're right. You sure are looking brighter, Emma. You think? If I am, it's because I finally have the resolve to follow my heart. Oh? This relates to what Isola said before she disappeared, I assume. Yes, she gave me just the encouragement I needed. When my current journey is over, I intend to leave the Empire. Like I said, all these stories, they're gonna tell us what everyone ends up doing. My wanderings will take me far beyond the land I've always known, across the entire continent, for I want to protect it all. Well, what? That's quite the lofty goal. Trust me, I know. But as we traveled around and met people of all stripes, in our fight against the Great Twilight, I found myself thinking. Samaria has faced all kinds of supernatural crises. The Oriole and Liberal, the Azure Tree and Crossbell, and plenty more on our home soil. Then there's the Blazing Demon, who supposedly came from a different world entirely. Yeah, we still need to learn more about that. It all made me realize that there is so much I do not know about what lies beyond the Empire's borders, and so much I could help with. So from now on, I don't want to live in the shadows of Erebonian history. I want to see all of creation with my own two eyes. That sounds like a fine dream to me, one I can enthusiastically support. I remember being surprised at just how big the continent was when I joined the society. There's so much you can learn from wandering the world, and above all, it's fun to be free. Says the local Orchard's poison apple. At this point, I think any further effort to obfuscate our existence from the world after Great Twilight would be a waste. I'm also certain that you would never use magic for evil, unlike a certain other witch I could name. Still, if you left the Empire, that would mean I could no longer watch over you. Ultimately, I'm not sure if I can sign off on this with a clear conscience. That just sounds like you don't want to let her leave the nest. Don't worry about her so much, she'll be fine. I'll be with her wherever she goes. Shenanigans! I call shenanigans. Why do you get to be with her and I don't? I'm not planning to leave the Empire just yet, Grandmother. Yeah, you still got Crossbow to handle. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Haha. On that note, I think it's about time I depart. Emma, Celine, I look forward to seeing you both again one day. And Grandmother, make sure you exercise from time to time, or you'll put on weight before you know it. Man, they're all like a mother to their grandmother. Mind your own business, you brazen hussy. I hope I see you again soon too, Vita. Take care of yourself. I see she still doesn't know how to keep that mouth of hers shut. But she does seem to have become more personable since I last saw her. Maybe the end of the Great Twilight signaled the start of something new for her. Perhaps so. It's not as though everything is suddenly back to how it used to be, but she did remind me of the old Vita today. That she did, sass and all. Well, shall we make our way back to Erin? I think we should. We haven't finished cleaning your room yet. Who knows what other secrets are waiting to be found in there? There aren't any, I swear, that I remember. Says the woman who is hiding a literal magic diary of life-changing importance. I say we tear the room apart. I'll start. Alright, well that was a nice story. It doesn't really change too much. Like, knowing all of that, like, obviously that info would have been useful to know before. Like, if they had tied that in Cold Steel 3 with us learning about who, Alberich was, like, that would have been so much more fitting than to tell us now. Because now it has no relevance. Like, nothing we learned in there, besides knowing what Emma's going to do after, this arc ends. Obviously after Reverie is over. None of that really changes anything that we know now. Like, at least with, like, let's say, for example, Tita's, for example, does have an impact on the future because it's like, okay, Tita's gonna stay in the Empire until she's done with her schooling. Or, what else do we have? Like, Fallen Prince, we learned about what Cedric's doing in Ouroboros. Path Chosen, we learned what these four are about to be up to. But this one is... I guess it's fine, though. I mean, just having closure on Emma's little, like, story is probably still just worth it. Alright, so that's gonna be it. So next time we're gonna do, The More Things Change, which is a Lucy, Chloe, and Lecter story. We're gonna get Genus Royal Academy back together, for, some kind of story. So we'll see how that goes. So that's gonna be it, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe more if you're new to the channel. I'll see you next time. Have a wonderful day, everyone.